Good afternoon, comrades. Welcome to the program All About Cars. My name is Ralph Medeiros. I own and operate Ralph's Auto Center with my son, Andrew. We're located at 867 Church Street in north end of New Bedford, just off of Exit 5 off of Route 140. Very easy to get to, minutes away from pretty much anybody around the suburbs here, and not a traffic light or a stop sign coming off the highway. Very easy. We're just down from Regal House Furniture and right beside Dollar General, the little store that just opened up next to us. And we're directly opposite of New Bedford Vocational's faculty and bus entrance on the Church Street side. The main entrance for the school is on Ashley Boulevard. So there you have it. You can ring us up here if you have any questions, car questions, whatever's bugging you, at 9960500, 9960500 on this Labor Day weekend. And I have to say, it's getting cloudy out there. It's really getting a little thicker out there, Matt. So I guess this is probably some of the outer cloud clusters coming from the storm, the tropical storm now downgraded, possibly could go back to a hurricane coming up the coast. I guess it's off Virginia Beach, thereabouts, and coming into the Washington, D.C. area. So we'll get some much-needed rain, maybe. Hopefully it's not all 7-8 inches in 3 or 4 hours. You know, although the ground is so parched and the brooks are so dry, it can probably absorb it. So we probably be in good shape. Sort of a real, earth-changing moment here. Earthquakes out in where was it? Oklahoma earthquakes. Did I hear in the news? I mean, that's not a common thing. Maybe the universe is trying to tell us something. Huh? Earthquakes happening in strange places, especially out in Oklahoma. I don't think they're prone to earthquakes. At least I'm not aware of it. But who knows? The world's crazy. But let's see. All kinds of things happening out there in the world. Automobiles and technology changes. New models are coming out soon. October 1st starts the new model year, at least formally. It's been in the past. The 2017s will be considered officially here come October 1st. Some 17s are being sold right now. Some cars come out earlier. In the old days, it was kind of pretty much set for October 1st, and you keep cars on the wraps. But today, they just come out with them when they're ready. And some cars out are sometimes a year earlier than what they're stamped, as far as the year that the car represents. Just depends on the manufacturers today, and they have to meet the codes that are applied for the year that they're built in, because each year it changes quite a bit. If you're out and about today and you're looking for an automobile, today's a good day to go by. It's not raining, and to go look at cars. And it's not really a beach day per se, but you can go by. Andrew's at the shop today. We got some great used cars there you can talk to him about. We specialize in used cars priced between $4,000 and $15,000, and most of the cars though are between 4 and 10, but we do go up to 15 for cars in stock, and trucks up to 20, SUVs and trucks. We do sell considerably more expensive vehicles for people who want them. We bring it in for them all the time, and we can help you out in that aspect as well. So you should go by and see them, and we can help you with financing. I'll go over a list of cars a little bit later in the program and let you know what's coming in. We always have new arrivals coming. And so if you need a car for yourself, get ready for the winter, or maybe your wife, a son or daughter. A lot of people have already made their choices to get ready for school, but some people are still, they're still got time to figure it out and what they're going to do. But we can help you in those aspects, and our cars are thoroughly checked out, and we put money in them before we take your money. And that's the difference between us and the other guys. So check us out, 867 Church Street, just off Exit 5. Go by and see Andrew right now. David's there as well, if I'm not mistaken. And if you can just start the conversation. You might be a week, a month away, 2 months away. Doesn't matter. Just start a relationship, and they'll help you out, and you'll find them that they're friendly to work with, and compare us to the competition, because people shop, and we're out every hour we're open. We're up for election, and you vote with your dollars. That's as simple as it is. Very good afternoon to you, caller.
Hi, Ralph.
Hi.
Okay, I've got a problem with a car, and I want to see if you can help me figure it out.
Okay.
Okay, yesterday afternoon, I parked my car in the garage. Everything was fine. An hour or so later, I come out, turn the key, nothing.
Okay.
Now, the interior lights went on, and when I turned the key on, the check engine light, that icon comes on, and then while the key is still on, the other icons, all the warning icons, blink off and on about every 8 or 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the air conditioner lights are on, and you know, the little blue lights on your controls,
Mm-hmm.
and the radio works.
The radio works.
I even put my battery charger on it.
Okay.
And tried to turn it over. There's just nothing. Turn the key, nothing.
What kind of car is this?
210 Chevy Impala.
210 Chevy Impala.
Purchased at Ralph's.
Oh, okay. Did you buy it new or?
No, last summer.
Oh, last summer. Okay.
Yeah, black one.
Okay. Yeah.
So I called Ulysses.
Yep.
But they were getting ready to leave. So.
Okay. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Late afternoon. So I'm stuck for the weekend. I'm just curious if you have any ideas.
I would try putting the car in neutral with the emergency brake on.
Yeah, you can't take it out of park.
You step on the brake and you have the key on. It should come out of park if the battery's good.
Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah. I mean, if you had no battery and all that, some of them have like a little electric solenoid and you can't shift it out. But if you have power like you described it and your radio plays, and it's in the garage right now?
Yeah.
And what kind of battery charger have you got?
It's I don't know, something I bought years ago. It's a small one.
Okay.
But it works.
Okay. And the battery, if you flash your headlights, it's bright. They're bright headlights. They're not dim. Well, I would try putting it in neutral and starting it.
Okay.
And then I would make sure it's in park all the way. Sometimes the safety switch is there.
Yeah.
And your key, and try to so you brought it in there, shut it off, and it just won't start.
Yeah.
You can try going back and make sure it's into park snugly or neutral, and see if it starts it, and put it back in park. And go back and forth with the key. Sometimes you get a relay to flip, or your starter has a dead spot.
One thing that was happening too is I was having trouble getting the key out.
Okay.
But now all of a sudden that's gone. That stopped. The key comes out when I shut it off.
Okay. Well, that
tells me a hard time.
You might have some adjustments that are off. With the neutral safety switch that keeps the vehicle from starting in gear. And they get out of loop, you know what I mean? So give me a call either later when you try it, or in the afternoon. I'm going to stop by the shop a little bit later. But
I'm going to go try it right now.
Yeah, just try to make sure it's try if you can get into neutral. See if you can start it in neutral.
Okay.
And then try put it in park firmly, and then restarting it and going back and forth, and see if you can just catch it.
Okay.
And then we'd have to go see. Hopefully, you can find the demon of what's causing that, and go from there. And you can call us back. Let us know.
Okay, Ralph. I'll call you in the wireless.
All right.
Let you know what happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see. What do we got here? Very good afternoon to you, caller. Hi. Are you there?
Gentleman, that I had the same problem with the car.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to replace. It's either the security codes that trip.
Or the key.
Oh, he's going to have to replace that same thing with the key problem, getting stuck and all that.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes your key loses its program. Larry, is that you?
I had the same problem. My son got stuck like twice in 2 weeks. And then I towed the car, get it to the garage, put the key in, it starts right up. First they thought it was the security codes. We loaded the security codes.
Yep.
Because if you take the key, or if you put the wrong key in it so many times, it's like a
little antenna.
Security thing.
Right.
But it ended up being a you had to it cost $186.
Yeah, but a little painful.
They took care of it, and that doesn't happen no more. But
what did they replace though? Precisely.
I guess it's a pretty common problem.
Yeah. What did they replace precisely?
Jesus Christ!
Was it the little antenna?
On the internet. If he looks it up on the internet, type that in on YouTube, it'll tell you exactly what it is. I think it's the name of the part.
Yeah.
But and I had it done in Wareham at the Cabbage Shed.
Yeah.
It's called the Cabbage Shed.
Yeah. Yeah.
A local,
shop.
Auto shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was driving me crazy. My son got actually stuck 3 times within 3 weeks. It was like, the car.
Yeah, but they have a little little antenna around where you put the key in that picks up the code off your key. And I've seen keys lose their codes.
Actually, well, just what it was when I bought the car, it didn't have that. So like the key was lost, and the key was without that little antenna thing on it.
Yep.
And that's exactly what it was. The key was getting stuck. You had to play with it, get it out, play with it, get it out, right?
Yeah.
So
We've done them.
This guy thought it was, if you take the key in and out so many times and it doesn't register, it's a security thing. He reloaded all the security data and then did it again. Then it did it again.
Yep. Yeah, we've done quite a few of them. Yeah. Well, thank you for the call. You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to the forest. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Very good. Yeah, we got a lot of help out there from the public, and that's good. Adds to the conversation. Very often, these cars that have these chip keys and the receptor for it, the receiver side, can be problematic on a lot of cars. And we have people have problems with it. You have to go in there and check it out and find out what the problem is coming from. And, we get into all these kind of situations, and we just don't want to throw pots at it. It has to be diagnosed so that, you don't have to spend crazy money on pots. It's easy just to be a parts replacer. It's a little more difficult to be a technician and diagnose it. And, try to get to the problem as efficiently as you can without spending, all kinds of money on replacing parts and guessing. Because, you can't really guess in this trade without it being quite expensive. So we try to minimize that. Sometimes you're forced to guess. It's an educated guess. I guess you have to say it that way. But anyway, give us a call here. We had some calls. We lost some calls. 9960500. They all came at us in one shot. And we can go from there. And some of the things happening out here. Let's see. Fall is right around the corner. Speaking of which, before I even get into that, today's the 3rd, so that's fall's in 18 days if you want to get technical. 18 days and we go into more darkness than light. That's depressing. At least to me it is. Today being September 3rd and fall is going to come, I think it starts, the 20th or 21st? I don't know the exact time that the equinox is coming, but it's certainly right around that point. But sunrise today was at 6:12 this morning, and you could see the sun a little bit. It was out in the morning. 6:12, boy, talk about coming up late. We lost 7 minutes from last Saturday. And this evening, which you probably won't see because all the cloud cover I'm looking out over here from where the studios are, is at 7:13. 7:13 in the evening. God, it's almost, next week it'll be probably right close to 7 o'clock. And, certainly the beginning of going into next week, the sun will be setting before 7. So you can see the handwriting on the wall, unfortunately. We lost 11 minutes from last Saturday. This week, total lost 18 minutes. The tide of light is rushing back to the southern hemisphere as we settle into fall coming in at us very soon. So far, since the first day of summer, we've lost 2 hours and 11 minutes of daylight. 2 hours and 11 minutes. So that's the way it goes, folks. And today's high tide has already taken place. In New Bedford, it was at 9:49 this morning. And low tide here in New Bedford will be at 3:33. So it's well on its way to reaching the lowest point. And I guess we'll be in for some good surf with this storm coming up the coast, right? You'll be hearing that roaring in pretty soon. There'll be some nice big ground swells coming into Buzzards Bay, Horse Neck Beach, and Narragansett Bay. So there you have it. There, moonrise took place at 8:18 this morning, which is like just slightly more than a crescent moon, a waxing crescent moon. The cycle's just starting over again, and it sets this evening, which you probably will not be able to see it. Will be at 8:29 this evening, just about. So you'd see it nice and clearly in the skies if they were clear, but unfortunately I don't think that'll be the case unless you're in an aeroplane. So that's what's happening around you as our summer starts to fade. We've had a great summer. I know I had a young lady who told me she didn't like summer. We were delivering a car to her. She bought a Jeep, and she says she prefers winter over summer. Wow. I don't know. That's depressing. Maybe that's just being a part of New England, I guess, right? But she's young yet. She hasn't had to do, and she probably hasn't shoveled out many driveways or clean many cars, you know. So I look at how many cars you have to clean, and I have to clean a lot of cars. That's a lot of work. And after all these years, you get tired of cleaning cars, plowing a lot, and sanding and salting, and the winters just come upon you. I mean, they toughen you up. I don't deny that, but you do have to work much harder, and you know, to get through the winters. Not to mention well, I guess if you're an air conditioning kind of person, you like a lot of air conditioning, I guess your summers can be a little expensive with the price of electricity. But heating, you can't deny you need heat in the winter, because our winters are a lot longer. The cooler weather is here with us, I think, fair amount longer than the summer months or the warm months. I think we can honestly say you probably have the heat on, I don't know, an easy 7 months of the year, where you might try to get by without, 5 months of the year without putting the heat on, and still be chilly in your house for sure. Because, to heat your house, even with the prices down, it's still kind of expensive in today's world, especially the way things are going, right? Okay, we got 2 calls. The board's lit up here, and they're gone. Okay, let's see who's next here. Good afternoon, caller.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey.
You know that earthquake that they had in Oklahoma?
Yep.
Might be a unintended side effect of one of the biggest volcanoes in the world, which sits under Yellowstone Park.
Yeah.
Which, if that thing ever goes, it'll take out about 3 or 4 states.
Really? So maybe we'll have...
Now, scientists have been predicting that it's long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about 50 or 60 years overdue for an eruption. And the way that the tectonic plates keep shifting, one of these days, it's going to go. I mean, as long as the Old Faithful and the other geysers keep flowing, that's a good sign. The day they stop, I'd start moving out of those states if I was living there.
Yeah, well, they say we're also due in California, where their fault is, San Andreas fault. San
Andreas fault.
They're long overdue for a good earthquake.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, too? In New England, we're known for an earthquake event every 100 years, a substantial one. And I think the last one, I'd have to look it up. I read it a long time ago. I think it was 1882 or something, and we had a substantial earthquake in New England.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't had one since of any.
A long time.
Yeah, we've had little minor tremors, but we haven't had a significant earthquake. And they say it's a century. We're in basically every century or so we have a good shake. And I guess you could say we're due as well.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact that I think part of it is, I was watching a program, I think it was on Nova, about the magnetic fields of the Earth are changing. And apparently they're changing so slowly that you don't really notice.
Right.
And we don't really notice.
And amount of time.
Yeah.
Amount of time to the Earth's change. To us, it's a life. We're gone.
Right.
Where our grandchildren are dealing with it. And actually even beyond. I mean, but.
And they said that if they change slowly enough, we living now won't notice it. But you're right. Children and grandchildren will notice it. If they change quickly, you might as well just hang it up, because practically every volcano on the Earth would erupt simultaneously.
Yeah. Well, they say also.
You think, for those of us who think that we're standing on a really solid rock, we're not.
Yeah. Well,
just something else to worry about.
Yeah, it's a changing place. It's we just hope we're not in a very major event in our lifetimes. And look at the people in Italy.
I know.
300.
I've been in the town of San Andreas.
Yeah.
In California. You know that fault runs right down the middle of the town?
Yeah, and I think they have a nuclear power plant that's very close to that fault.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And it runs right under what is the city hall.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
Well, it's not City Hall, it's a town hall, and it's when I was there, it was town hall and police station and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the fault. I mean, you literally can see it.
Yeah, I know. Satellite, you can see it too.
Isn't that kind of a stupid place to put a city hall? Well, they didn't know it was a fault then. Oh well.
Well.
So, hey, it is what it is.
It is, but life comes at you. You know, I was just thinking about this storm. I mean, it could go back into a hurricane, and who knows? It could come up. We haven't had. We've been lucky here in the East Coast.
I know we're overdue, supposedly.
Yeah. I mean, even Florida kind of got through this one. There's a little bit of flooding and all that because the tides were at the right time and all that. It hit them at
They're saying it's too early to predict if it'll turn into a hurricane or not.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, it'll just sit out there for a couple of days, and we'll get a lot of rain.
Well, it's
hey,
we're overdue, right?
We can use the rain.
Yeah.
The reservoirs will be back up.
Yeah. That's right. So I mean, I look at all
that's the only commentary I want to make today. Nothing about politics.
No, you're on your own.
I'm taking a couple of weeks off from politics.
Okay, you're resigning from that for a few days, huh?
I know.
That must be tough, Jay.
Hey, I'm shutting down.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, a lot of people are burnt out from it.
I'm waiting for the big debate. Let's see who shows up prepared and who doesn't.
Oh, they'll both be coached to the ends. You know,
I'm sure.
It's going to be like a Rocky fight. You know what I mean? It's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be a free for all.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, there's different opinions out there, and I mean, it just seems, at least the Hillary camp, more bad news on the emails coming out. All those that she bleached out now. Supposedly there are some in there.
I know. She keeps repeating the same mantra over and over again.
Well,
I turned in all my emails, and they keep finding more and more.
Yeah. Well, they say the same mantra. You know who taught them that mantra, don't you?
Who taught them that mantra?
Who taught them that? Joseph Goebbels. You tell a lie often enough and loud enough, people believe it.
Oh, yeah, Joseph Goebbels. That's right.
He's the master.
If you tell a lie often enough, it becomes the truth.
That's right. He was the master propagandist for the Nazis, and that playbook is still followed today. It's important reading. It's important reading to any of these people who handle publicity or political campaigns, like it or not. He was a master of it, the Reich Ministry of Public Engagement and Propaganda.
Yeah.
And that was his official position in English. Don't ask me to say it in German because I don't know how. But
right.
From 1933 to 1945, he was in charge of it. And one of the first things they did in 1933 was to get control of the radio stations, to control the message.
Hey.
Because that then was like the internet. Radio was a new device, if you will. And they also came out with the Volks, I can't say the word, but it's Volks meaning people's, in German, like Volkswagen is people's car, right? Well, they came out with the Volks radio. They started building cheap radios for the masses.
Yeah, cheap radios for the masses.
So they could listen
to the Führer.
That's right. They could listen to the Führer's speeches and Goebbels' speeches.
And Mein Kampf became required reading.
In schools, really? I wasn't aware of that, but...
Oh, yeah. When people got married, they were given a copy of Mein Kampf as a wedding present.
Wow. It's worth a lot of money right now. Original. They're actually republishing it. I think they're republishing that book now. Do you have any copies?
Oh, yeah, you can find it.
Yeah, you can. You're a book collector. Do you have a copy?
No, I read it, though.
Yeah, you can listen to it or read it in English, yeah. There's audio copies.
You know, that book took me a long time to read. Because after I read about 45 or 50 pages, I used to get a headache reading that book.
Yeah, it starts
so
out...
I had to keep putting it down.
It starts out kind of boring, to use a word, I guess.
It's
in the beginning.
Difficult to comprehend when you read it.
Yeah.
But, you've got to go over it and over it. And that's why I used to keep getting a headache. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to be able to read this in one shot.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was watching a movie the other day. I can't remember the name of the movie. and the guy was reading Mein Kampf, and I went, "Oh man, you gotta be kidding me!"
Had to be a World War II movie, no?
No, it was a modern movie.
Oh.
And the guy was reading Mein Kampf because somebody said to him, "Oh, what are you reading?" And he held it up, Mein Kampf.
Well, he could be a history buff too. Doesn't mean he's a Nazi, but or a Nazi, sympathizer. Well, it means some people read it for. I read all kinds of books. I mean, I've read Capital.
Yeah, I read all kinds of
okay,
books too,
so
but I don't usually get a headache from any of them except that
one. Well, okay. I saw the original editions, some captured copies in the Russian war museums. That was fascinating. Yeah, it was fascinating to see. In the displays of German equipment, flags, propaganda material, they had several copies of Mein Kampf that were the original published, for the German troops, officers. I saw that in the museum as well, and it was interesting to see. I never saw the originals before until I walked into the Russian museums, war museums. Their war museums are quite nice. I mean, it's what they've done to restore and show all the. I mean, I never saw so many Iron Crosses. They have thousands of captured iron. Well, they're all from dead Germans, but thousands of Iron Crosses and medals. Phenomenal when you see their collection of how they got it.
Oh yeah.
And they show they have the eagle from the Reichsstadt Ministry. They have the eagle, and they broke the wings off it, and they have all the medals below it, and the Soviet flag above it. It's pretty an awesome sight to see, actually, the way they defeated them. And they paid a terrible price, to say the least. But yeah, so that's where I saw some original Mein Kampf copies. And of course, on the internet, you can go read the book or listen to the book for that matter. But
I wouldn't recommend it for summer reading.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends on your mindset. I mean, Karl Marx's Capital is not an easy read either.
Oh, are you kidding? Yeah. That's another book. Then.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I started to read that, and after the first chapter and a half, I said, "Forget it. I'm not reading this."
Well, all right. We can't go. We're not waiting at the politics. We're on the outskirts.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
See you later. Okay, Matt. Who's up? Very good afternoon to you, caller.
Hi, Ralph. It's me again.
Hey, how'd you make out?
Not good.
No.
It's even worse now.
Why is it worse?
Now I've got no lights at all.
Okay.
Even with the charger on it.
Okay.
I got no interior lights, nothing.
I think your battery. I mean, I hate to be, go into all these other things that you have. Your key chip's gone, or the receptor is gone on it. I forget the formal name they call it, but flash your headlights and see if that's why I asked you about your headlights.
The lights aren't going on now. They did earlier, but not now.
Well, do you have AAA?
Yeah.
Get it towed up to us. Get it sent up there this afternoon.
To your place?
Yeah.
Is somebody here?
Well, no, they won't be able to work on it, but I can take a quick look at it if I get there, if it's something minor. But try to get you patched up or something, but I can't promise you it'll be running today. Because today we run just...
Well, it was going to go there anyway, so...
Yeah.
I'll call AAA right now.
Yeah, I mean, if it's that way dead, it's not going to do you no good,
Yeah.
You might as well, because the storm coming and all that, it might be a disaster for AAA come Monday.
Yeah. I've also got a question about the towing.
Okay.
How do they get it out of the garage when the front wheels won't turn?
They just have to roll it out, though, right? They don't have to turn it. You just have to unlock the key so the wheel don't... Well, you don't have to even unlock the... Well, they have to get out of the park.
I can't get it out of the park. I tried.
Well, they got ways. They have a little knockoff switch they can use to take it out.
Oh, okay.
And put it, they know what they're doing. There's a little key way they can get in and be able to shift the car when there's a battery like dead or it's incapacitated.
Yeah.
They know. Those boys know how to do it. We do it around the shop.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
So I'll get it up to the shop.
All right. Thank you.
And what's his name? Dave is there?
David and Andrew will be there. My brother David and Andrew are there.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Bye-bye. Very good afternoon to you, caller.
Back on politics.
Oh. Okay.
How you doing, Ralph?
Oh, better than I deserve. How you doing?
Good. Did you hear that that Barack Obama instructed this, what's his name, Jay Johnstone, the head of, is that the guy's name? The head of Homeland Security?
Okay, yeah.
To oversee the elections.
Overseas. Yeah, they want to put it in Homeland Security.
Yeah, Homeland Security's hands, because they say there's been election commissions have been hacked by, well, and I don't believe that it's a foreign government. I believe it's our own, so they can justify doing what they're going to do.
Yep.
And fix the election.
Uh-huh.
And they also said that if any of the candidates died, that Barack Obama would remain president. Not for 4 years, but yeah, that's why would they say so? I mean,
say that again. Now you said
if any of the two candidates pass away before the election will be stopped, and there won't be an election, and that he'll remain in charge.
Well, Well,
that's great.
Listen, the powers to be.
Yeah, they're gonna
really run the show, and I'm surprised. Trump. They got to Ross Perot, and he shut it down, and Perot is who forced Clinton into power. But
I voted for Ross Perot.
Yeah, but Perot, he either was threatened or his family was threatened, and he backed out.
That's exactly right. He was threatened.
Now, Trump.
I mean, he still ran.
Yeah.
But not as vigorously as.
No, but he got out though. I mean, he didn't. He just kind of.
He was still on the ballot.
Yeah, but he just.
I know.
He just kind of like lost the zeal, if you will.
Well,
but
I mean,
Trump has
when you have 96 people that have met mysterious deaths that had dealings with the Clintons, you start scratching your head. Could they all commit suicide?
I've talked to you before.
Yeah, we've talked.
And I mentioned to you, you really have to listen to, there's all kinds of voices out there. They're from the left, the right, the center, libertarian. I mean, it's where a person hails from, I really don't care so much, it's what they read.
About the information they bring to the table.
That's exactly right, their intellect. Yeah. And the fellow to listen to that I find very interesting, and he's got a very interesting past, and is Julian Assange. You've really got to listen to this man.
Yeah, he's going to bring something up before the election. Watch.
Well, Julian Assange has come up with, like you were talking about the Clinton body bag count. I think you brought it up, right? About
96 people have met mysterious deaths.
Yeah.
From Ron Brown on down.
Well, the latest. Seth Rich.
Rich, the kid that worked for the DNC, and
he was shot in the back shot in the back 4 times.
Yeah.
Well, he had his wallet and everything else with him.
Yeah. I mean, this is the way.
But see,
they have these operatives that carry out the dirty deeds.
Well, it's business. I mean, it's like the mafia. Only
they have to keep their power.
It's absolutely.
They have to maintain power.
Right.
And it's, you hear about the shadow government. Well, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I don't argue with that. And
what I really called about is it just came out. It's on YouTube. Clinton Cash. Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, you go on YouTube and push in Clinton Cash. Well, it's quite lengthy. It's an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's all pay to play.
You have to pay to go on.
No, it's
YouTube?
all with Clintons. It's pay to play.
Right.
They're
going to literally. You're going to be. If anybody watches it, there's no way.
It's unfortunate. Our country's turning into a banana republic, and it's because.
Worse than that.
Well, okay. I mean, banana republic's pretty bad, but it can go. Well, because the populace is dumbing down. Most people.
The dumbing down of America. It started in the '60s.
I guess. But it's like all people care about is there's ice cream. I've said many for years on this station here. It's ice cream in the freezer, beer in the refrigerator, potato chips in the cabinet, and porn on the computer, and a football game. And they know more about their.
Happy.
They know.
Yeah, that's right. They don't care what's going on in the real world.
No, not until those things start to go away. But yet we're losing our economic rights, our civil liberties. They're trying to take away our gun rights. I'm not a gun nut by any means.
No, but
I respect the right of ownership, and guns are for the citizens to protect themselves. And it's not only from criminals; it's also from their government ultimately,
Right.
if it comes to that. And
Well,
you know, we're unique as a country in that respect. Other countries,
when
the
the
first-
government no longer serves its people and the people serve it, then it's the duty and responsibility of those people to take arms against that government and end its tyranny.
yeah, you know, it's interesting.
That's what's written.
The United Nations is going to be monitoring our elections too in 2016. Imagine that.
Who
Huh?
the hell are they to be involved in our elections?
Well, I guess they're worried about corruption, like a banana republic, right? So, I mean,
The corruption starts from the top.
well, a fish rots from the head down. That's right.
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 Yeah.
Right.
But you got to see this Clinton cash,
Yeah.
and you'll be totally amazed.
You got to stop by. Give me a call, and I'll show you what a Chromebook's all about. Seriously, you'll be
All
up.
right.
You'll be up all night. You're going to call me. You're going to be.
No, I go to bed at 8:00. I'm up at 5.
Well, once you get a computer or something to play with, and it's easy,
Yeah.
you're going to be. Trust me.
I'll have too much information then.
Well, that's okay. You
I
sound like
don't
the
know
kind
if
of guy
it's
can
good,
absorb.
you know they say ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. Well, the whole country's going that route, my friend.
Yeah, I know.
No, I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people. Listen, how I look at it with Trump and Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump is, listen, they're both flawed candidates. I'm flawed. You're flawed. We're all flawed in our own different ways. But we got to look beyond that. We got to look at their politics. And I can say this to folks who listen. And I've met some people come to me and they say, I disagree with your views. And I take them public. I tell people how I feel. I'm not going to be dishonest about it.
Right.
And one person was kind of criticizing me this week. Oh, you and Barry Richards are for the Republicans. I said, wait a minute. You know, the way I look at it is, if you're
Republicans, Donald Trump's not even a Republican.
well, I'm not a
Reality.
Republican. I'm not a Republican either. I'm a
No,
political.
me neither.
I'm a political
Neither is
atheist.
Donald Trump.
I'm a political
He's
atheist.
just using that ticket.
Yeah. Well, he's a fifth element. But that aside, when I look at this situation and I see it unfolding in front of us, I look at, you know, not their personalities so much. They are what they are. But you got to look at how their politics. And if you're enjoying the decline that we've been experiencing for the last solid 8 years, and you want to continue enjoying the decline, then
Yeah, vote
your
for
choice
Hillary.
your choice is easy. Vote for Hillary. If you want to see a change, possibly, not to say there's not going to be a lot of pain.
Oh, there'll be changes.
Well, there's going to be pain either way. But if we don't get control of our country and our borders, I mean, we got our
Yeah.
legs wide open at the borders, and you know, we're being taken advantage of. And I think
Right.
sooner or later we have to. When I went into other countries, I need visas. I need a passport. If I overstay my visa, I have real problems.
Right.
And you know, I was in Russia, and you just don't enter that country. You have to
No,
have
not
proof
here
of where
in
you're.
this country.
You have to prove where you're staying, and you know, there's a regiment you have to follow. And
But
we've,
it's what,
you know,
excuse me, it's
yeah.
what's coming out of our country. No, it's what's coming in, but it's also what's coming out. Guns and money
Mhm.
are coming out to Mexico.
Right. Well, guns too. That's true. The cartels
Mexico
are buying
should be
guns in
allowed.
America because here we're freer and we can still have that. It's a God-given right. It's not a right given by government. It's in our Constitution. So you know, but that's a whole different discussion. But you know, when you think about guns, the Obama administration had a false flag event where they were selling guns to cartels
Right.
through. Remember with Eric Holder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, guns.
And they were selling guns, and one of our border guards got killed because of these guns, and numerous Mexicans died, innocent Mexicans, with the guns that our government sold to the cartels
I'll
to
correct
show
the
how
government.
easy guns flow over the border and to blame the gun dealers and to make rules to tighten the law. See how they play the game?
Yes.
They're no different than Reich Minister of Public Engagement and Propaganda, Joseph Goebbels. Okay,
Right.
I mean it's that
Germany.
dirty.
Goebbels.
It's
Exactly.
they're as corrupt and evil as that administration was back in 1933 to 1945.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, just like them.
Yeah. So I mean that's where you have to put your. So, you know, and I found it amazing when Trump came out and made a statement when he was talking to the black community, and he says, "What have you got to lose?" I mean,
Yeah,
think about it. And I thought about it. I said, "That's a pretty smart and shrewd remark. What have they got? I mean, look what have they prospered? Black unemployment's doubled
Yeah, it's
under
double since
Obama's
this guy
administration, and Obama, mark my words, will be the richest black man in 5 years in America.
Yeah, when he's done with it. Yeah.
Well, when they start paying him back, when he gets paid $600,000, $1 million to give
but that
speeches.
uranium deal that they cut with Russia, he's going to get a big hit.
Well, but the Hillary Foundation was involved in that, and I found that amazing in disinformation, because Hillary was criticizing Trump being buddies with Putin. Now they've said not complimentary, but they've kind of tipped the hat at each other, right. Trump and Putin.
But they respect each other.
Yeah, but Trump doesn't have a dime invested in Russia. He has no casinos, no hotels. He's tried, but he hasn't been able to pull it off. But Hillary has done business with the Russian oligarchs. Hillary and her associates engineered the 20% sale of stock of an American uranium company to a Soviet oligarch corporations, and her foundation was paid monies through Russian rich oligarchs. So she's had a true association with the Russians, and yet she makes it look like, oh, he's doing business with the Russians. So
he's worse than a hypocrite.
Yeah, I mean that's so when I see things like that. But you know what? The people are waking up to this, and I know it's the political game. Both sides lie. We understand that. But
how good did Trump look in Mexico? He looked pretty damn good, didn't he?
Yeah, and he came back and he gave a real.
Forget what the Standard Times front page said the other day.
Well, that Standard Times is like reading Pravda in 1969. You know, I mean,
they're awful.
Yeah, it's like reading Pravda.
He looked presidential. He sounded and looked presidential, just more than. I mean, he astounded people. Yeah.
Well, and also his speech that night. Some people were dismayed that he still is extreme as all that, but I think to get the criminal elements off our streets is a start, and I think you can't.
You got to do extreme things.
Yeah, but I think I don't think he's going to end up rounding up and deporting people who've been here legitimately.
Not gonna happen.
But I think if they have to have a mechanism to make them legal aliens. But as far as the right to vote, I think it should be denied, period. Because they didn't come in through the normal route. You come in here illegally. If you're allowed to stay, no criminal records, you can contribute to our community, get a green card, you can work. As far as the right to vote, that's given up. That's because you never came in
Mexico or wherever.
Well, that's a tough one because some of those people are so poor, and that's the foreign aid. Yeah. Because they're that.
Well, we don't have
$50
to
a week.
Mexico foreign aid then.
Well, we're giving foreign aid and the amount of jobs we've transferred.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got factories building. See, when Trump says they're going to pay for the wall, what they're going to say to companies like Ford, who just is going to invest another $1 billion building an engine plant, and they're going to say, fine, you can build all the engines you want in Mexico, but you're not going to bring them over the border for no tariff. They're going to cost you 10 or 15% tariff, so it makes those engines more expensive, and then they'll pay for the wall. And it takes away the advantage. Yeah, because you're going to pay the Mexicans about $5 an hour versus paying an American, $65 an hour with benefits. So and beyond. So these are the realities. I gotta let you go though. Thank you.
Okay.
Give me a call sometime at the shop, and I'll show you how to, have some fun with that.
Okay.
Later. Very good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon. A couple of questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Questions.
Good.
It's about my daughter's car. She has I think it's a 2004 Jeep Cherokee, Grand Cherokee.
Okay.
And she says she's having trouble on the highway. It's not shifting at times. So I'm assuming she may need a new transmission. I'm not sure on that. But
okay. This is a Jeep. What year Jeep Grand Cherokee?
2004.
Okay, and it's a 6 or an 8?
6-cylinder, 4-wheel drive.
And it stays in a lower gear?
Yes.
Does she have a dashboard light on, engine light on?
No, nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
Would the dashboard light go on if the transmission was...
Sometimes you get a code. It goes into limp mode. The vehicle, for whatever reason, it goes into what they call a limp mode, and it won't upshift to high gear. Yep. How many miles?
I think it's about 130.
Well, it's not bad then. It's not crazy. No. Did you pull the dipstick and check the transmission oil level?
No, I haven't.
I would do that. I would check.
You just told me about it, so.
I would check the level and then smell it. See if it smells burnt.
Yep.
If it smells burnt or it looks black, like dead blood. You know what a dead blood looks like, right? It's a black, reddish.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's that color, and it has an awful smell to it, like rancid. then if it's low, that could be one of the reasons right there. Okay, so you put a couple of quarts in, and you might bring it back, providing she didn't really toast it up, and if it's really filthy, maybe, possibly a Hail Mary pass to do a transmission flush and filter replacement, and that could bring you back. Those are some of the basics to check on. Those transmissions are not known for just being dogs, let's put it that way. Like Honda's had some problems with trannies cooking up, and the Jeeps have been fairly reliable. So as long as you maintain them, you know what I'm saying, you stay on them. But she's saying it's not shifting because her tachometer is kind of, and the engine's screaming. She can hear it. Yeah.
She said it's making a noise too.
Bring it by. We'll look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll help you out. We'll look at it. We worked on Jeeps. We sold them for 25 years, so I have all the tools.
I figured I'd go to the Jeep.
Yeah, I got all the equipment and all that, so I can look at it and maybe save you $1.
Yeah, 2 other quick questions.
All right, you want to have to. Okay, I can put you on hold because we got the news coming up. All right, stand by. Folks, we got the news coming up in a few seconds here. Thank you for listening to All About Cars with Ralph Medeiros, and we'll be back after about 7-8 minutes worth of news and find out what's happening in the world. Sometimes I don't want to know. I own and operate Ralph's Auto Center with my son Andrew. We're located at 867 Church Street in the north end of New Bedford. We're just off of Route 140, exit 5. Put you on Church Street, go down Church Street. We're right after Regal House Furniture and Dollar General, right beside them, directly opposite of New Bedford Vocational's faculty and a bus entrance. Very easy to get to. The dealership number is 998-1141. 998-1141. Today, they could be outside today. It's a reasonably good day if the phones ring. And you can't, go to extension 112, that's Andrews, and he'll be sure to get back to you if they don't answer it. And service today is closed at this time, so you could leave a voicemail there as well. We have several callers. The boards are lit up here. I'll have to kind of go down in order that they were received. And I believe, which way, Matt? This way, right? Yeah, I think it was very good. Very good afternoon to you, caller. Are you there?
Oh, hi, Ralph. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Can't complain.
Good.
A little quick side trip. You have access to a computer right there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking for country. The flag is 3 vertical bars. Green, white, red.
Okay. Mexico, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's try one more. Green. I couldn't be sure on the red. Let's try green, white, orange.
Oh, is it orange? Okay.
I'm not sure.
I'm guessing.
I'll explain what I mean.
So forgive me, but I'm guessing. But
yeah.
I can maybe Matt can cue it. Your car is a little faster, Matt. Vertical bars, right?
Yes, vertical bars. Either green, white, red, green, white, orange.
Okay. You don't know, or you're just
I couldn't tell.
Oh, I didn't know if you were quizzing me.
No, I'm not quizzing you. I'm just curious on something.
Okay.
I'll explain what I'm talking about.
Okay. I don't know, Matt, have you any luck on that? The Irish flag is what? Green, white. What's the other color? I think it's red, I'd have to look at it. I mean, I look at flags all the time, but now that you're asking me one specific country.
Well, what I'm talking about, and this is off to the side, is I saw a destroyer coming into New London today.
Oh, okay.
And that was one mother of a destroyer.
Okay. Foreign flag.
I was curious. It wasn't an American one, and I noticed the flag.
Well, could be. I don't know. Matt's going to queue up on that, huh, Matt? Yeah, so we're looking at the world of flags here right now.
Okay.
And we're going to try to pick out...
No big deal.
Yeah, they're vertical. There aren't many verticals, Matt, so it should be fairly quick to... Well, I mean, I'm looking at a couple hundred flags here, but...
One of the two is Ireland, I know that.
Yeah, Ireland, I thought of the Irish flag, but I don't know if Ireland has any destroyers. I guess they would be more under the auspices of the EU. Because they're on the euro and Britain's on the dollar. I mean, and Britain is Brexiting. The whole world is Brexiting out, I think, huh?
It's not Britain, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, not the Union Jack.
Yeah.
Are you sure it was a nationality flag? Because the Mexicans, they're horizontal. What's that, Mexico? What you got there? No, that's not Mexican, is it? It looks like an Islamic because of the green.
Mm-hmm.
The one here that I'm looking at, Islamic country.
Well, in any event, let's get on to politics.
All right, give you.
I'm not a wimp. I'm going to get into it.
All right.
I look at it this way: Hillary lies, but she doesn't lie any more than Trump.
I think she's got more experience at it, a lot more.
Well, the problem is she doesn't have much finesse when she lies. Trump lies with force.
I think I'd hold that comment. She's a lawyer. If anyone knows how to lie.
Well, but she looks like she's lying.
Wow.
You know, the disadvantage they have is the powerful economic forces that are trying very hard to nail her. You look at Judicial Watch. And from what I've been seeing on the news, this breaks records of where they're actually getting the notes. Usually you don't charge somebody, you don't charge somebody. But now they're digging into the notes of the people who did the interviews. And Judicial Watch is, of course, connected to Citizens United, who got us that wonderful ruling that speech is money.
Well, corporations are individuals, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, whoever it is, an individual or a corporation.
Corporations are considered individual like you and I, and can put their money to devote their interest, which, when you think about it, they are tax-paying entities.
But to call it speech.
Well, it's the lubrication for speech.
Then what we say is your right to free speech is proportional to money. But all that being said,
what's changed?
And then we got the Trump campaign, who picked up somebody from Citizens United in the last few days. Then you got Breitbart, who lied about Shirley Sherrod, and he's got the head of Breitbart as part of his campaign. Yeah. I have as much problem with him as I do with Hillary.
Breitbart, because he comes from whether it's a new term they're using now for the online.
Alt-right.
The what?
Alt-right.
The alternative right, because it's an internet right. And they're trying to shut that down. See, the Ministry of Public Engagement and Propaganda, they don't like that. Neither does the major media, because they're losing listeners. And as it becomes more disseminated, if you will, through the internet. There are so many different. You can go. I was just on a National Socialist website, so I mean, I read left, I read right. So, but
the problem with the internet is, first, it's a wonderful thing, and the second part of it is there's no validity whether something is valid or not.
Well,
everything's out there.
Listen.
You want to find Martians that have landed in Kokomo?
Yeah, but so okay, fine. Then it leaves it up to you to filter out what you consider to be legitimate and what's not. Instead of having a news entity like CNN or Fox or ABC, NBC, MSNBC do it for you, or to have the Ministry of Public Engagement and Propaganda do it. And by the way, on Hillary's
Fox.
And any one of them.
Fox,
it could be. I don't listen to Fox, so I mean either one of them. It doesn't matter. And Hillary got a free pass on those emails because of her connections to the White House, and it's her party that's in power. And to think otherwise is to be exceptionally naive.
Well, we're still America until Trump takes it over. We're still America. It's called proof.
Proof.
And this is where Trump
that's the problem.
Doesn't care about proof anymore.
No. Listen.
Obama formed ISIS.
Well, there's some controversy on that because the money has flowed and weapons have gone to that side. Yes, there's some that they've helped perpetuate the development of ISIS.
That's nonsense. And he's the head of ISIS. Yeah, of course.
I
will go along with Carl Bernstein of Woodward and Bernstein fame. We desperately need, and we're not going to get it, a media that informs us.
Well, what does that mean?
That they actually do the research and let us know. Because they have the resources.
Wait a minute. Whoever does the research will put the message to where what their thoughts are. I mean, that's why we have numerous different think tanks and numerous different newspaper organs. That's why we have.
There's a difference between true journalism and think tanks and opinion pieces.
But a lot of major media don't want to pay for the true journalism. They've cut those staffs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So They buy the cheapest way out, or they have it propagandized, and that's what the major media has come out. You know what's amazed me more, and I'm a political atheist. I've said this publicly many times, but they've come out. The whole system has come out against Trump, even his own party. So everybody feels threatened.
This may be a shocker, but maybe they don't like what they see.
Well, see, I don't look at the personality because they're both flawed. You got to look at the politics.
Oh, come on. Has Hillary ridiculed John McCain's military record? Did she make fun of a disabled person?
Well, that was immature.
Did she make a joke of the Purple Heart?
But
excuse me.
No, that's obviously a flaw, and that shows his immaturity in that respect.
Our military.
But did Donald Trump steal the White House antiques and plates and leave, and they had to return them when they left the White House?
Proof of that. I don't want It's interesting with the media age we have today, and I'll give you an example of what I mean in a moment, where the lie is repeated 5,000 times, but it's the same lie. Frontline we got into Iraq. Where's the weapons of mass destruction?
Well, that was a bunch of BS. We both know that.
Yeah, but how this occurred is interesting. Frontline did a story on the run-up to the war. And one, I guess we'd call it news service, whatever you'd call it.
Yeah.
Actually did some research. And what they found out that every country was getting that information from one person.
No kidding.
Portraying himself differently. So if you give that information to England, and then you give it to France, it's all a lie.
But
then you give it to the United States, and then the intelligence groups in the three countries get together. Yeah, we heard it too.
Well, wait a minute. It's not one person.
The lie becomes true.
My friend, it's not one person that's making these decisions. It's a committee, if you will. This is all managed.
What I'm saying is I'm not saying the people who made the decision. I'm saying the people who provided the information was actually one person. His nickname was Curveball, and that's not because he's playing Red Sox next year.
Mm-hmm.
The CIA knew he was, let me say, unreliable. But once you spread that information around enough, it looks like you have multiple sources.
Okay. Question: why did they? And I got to let you go after this. Why did they? Why did the CIA? You said spread the information. Why?
They did.
Why?
They were being listened to.
No, but they listened to Curveball. Well, why did they spread Curveball's information?
They didn't. Oh. He himself spread it to
so he has that much connections and power. Wait a minute.
Because he wanted to be in charge of Iraq.
Wait a minute. That person has that much power and authority where he can get his message disseminated.
Yes.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
He was high up in Iraqi politics or whatever you want to call it.
But he has to be.
And he wanted to be in charge.
Nothing happens by accident, and that didn't happen by accident. Okay?
Oh, of course, he wanted to be in charge.
No, it wasn't he.
The lie got spread. They wanted to go into Iraq. We wanted the justification.
Okay, so you're
for
saying
infinite military buildup.
So you're saying we wanted to go into Iraq. Okay.
Yeah, particularly George W. was very eager to go in there.
Well, him and his people behind him. And you know what? Just so we can make this clear, Hillary Clinton favored that and voted in favor of that as well.
And so did Mike Pence.
Yeah, well, okay.
Well, of course, Trump said that's not important.
Well, no, he was vehemently against it. I mean, he said it publicly.
Who?
Trump. He was against the war.
When it was brought up that Pence was for the war, he says that makes no difference.
Well, he didn't hold that
against
him.
But he lies so well.
I got to let you go, though.
I wish, I've never seen anybody would lie with such finesse. But by the way, I will find inner peace shortly. Because in my mail came a letter, I'm not kidding, upper left side, it's from the party, Donald J. Trump. I know when I open that letter, I will have bliss and pleasure, the likes of which I have never seen before.
Well, you can go along with the other mass hysteria and vote, not vote for a person with virtually no credibility, no integrity.
Well,
I don't deny she's hardworking. I don't deny that.
That's your opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I look at just the facts. You look at her what's taken place. I guess you've forgotten the Clinton administration, all the scandals.
Anything. I'm saying they're both corrupt. I'm taking the lesser of two evils.
Well, see, I feel sorry for that thought that you said it that way, because I think this country, we're going to be in dire straits.
Well, I don't have a choice. I can't put up a third candidate or a fourth candidate.
No, but
it is what it is.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
remind ourselves about this play. Oh, get it right. Pay to play.
Yep.
Remember somebody by the name of Brownie? You're doing a good job, Brownie.
I've heard that. But,
he was a political hack who raised racehorses, and he was appointed by the W administration to in charge of FEMA.
Listen,
something we would really need. Why didn't they put him in charge of off-size shoes or something?
Well, what the hell? Look at Eric Holder when he was doing the gun runs over the border. That was like all hushed.
Which started in the W administration, by the way.
Oh, it really did, huh?
Yeah, it really did.
Well, I never read into that extent.
Our facts inconvenient.
Yeah, well, I never heard that set out publicly. Why not? If it's
it was set out publicly, I guess.
Well, so the whole power structure that's now in place, which is mostly liberal media,
which is another
and they
lie,
would come out and
that's
it's another lie. Well,
it's another lie. It kind of reminds me of the conservatives use this childish, not childlike, but childish approach of where a little kid puts his finger in his ears when he hears something he doesn't like, eat your broccoli, and goes no.
Listen. So we invented, Hillary Clinton. And I got to let you. Listen to me.
Thousands of reporters, they all lie.
Let me say, Hillary Clinton spoke at the Veterans this week.
Yeah.
I listened. I don't know if you had the opportunity to listen to the complete speech.
I didn't listen to either.
Well, I listened to the whole speech. I'll call it. She advocated about, be it internet attacks and all this, that she would actually use military power to stop internet attacks. Now, and if Donald Trump had said that, the whole media would be so viciously against that, and that wasn't even brought up.
We got a real problem now. With the internet, first, I've been saying for years, none of this stuff is secure. If anybody believes it's secure, they have a mental illness.
But
now they have the ability to destroy our power plants.
Who? On the internet?
Yes.
Well, you got to harden them from what the hell? I mean, she was talking about the Russians this, the Russians that. We're the major hackers of the world.
Rootin' Tootin' Putin is behind this.
Who? Behind what?
Behind the selective. And we don't even know if what's being released is actually true or not.
No, my friend, listen.
But the release of only on the Democrats.
No, listen.
You mean they have the ability to hack into the Republican computers?
If I can be a bit facetious, if you were here and I had a box of crayons, I'd show you where this is coming from. Okay? Because the facts are, when you start drilling down here, you're just buying into the mainstream.
Well, see, that's the other thing. This is kind of like I know something you don't know. That if I don't buy this, we're stupid. Why are we so surprised? I know people with the Bilderbergers and all that stuff. Why are we surprised that powerful, big money people control things?
Well, but see, they've gamed it out where America's lost a lot of its sovereignty, and these trade agreements have proven that. And now they want to put the Trans-Pacific. They call it for trade and all that, but it's more.
It's not trade.
No, it goes beyond that, way beyond.
America was selling pizzas. I'm going to make it up, okay? And England was selling cheese for the pizza. Well, then you trade. No, this is actual jobs going overseas.
Well, yeah, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands.
It's not even trade
My
anymore.
friend Ken texts me, says the green, white, and orange flag is the flag of Ireland.
Okay,
and then the green, white, and red flag is the flag.
White, red flag.
That's Italy.
That's Italy.
Yep. Thank you, Ken.
I saw today, which was either from Italy or Ireland.
Right.
So it sounds like it's probably from Italy.
Listen.
All I know is it's super.
Do more research.
Super modern.
I gotta let you go. Do more research. We'll talk next week.
Be good.
See you later. Thank you for holding. Are you there?
Unbelievable. To think that guy was teaching our kids.
Well, come on.
This is brainwashing crap.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty naive. It's as bad as the mayor getting on the other day and scolding WBS on what they should and shouldn't talk about, and then going to the
I didn't hear that. I've been busting.
Oh yeah, he was right there telling.
What was the subject matter though? What was without?
We're talking about. I believe it was the girl with the kid that was punctured by the needle, and he didn't think it should be talked about, and he was adamant about it.
So he.
Well, it could have been blown out of proportion. I mean, I don't know all the facts.
Listening. It doesn't matter. It's talk radio.
Yeah.
And then he went to the administration of WBSM and complained again. But nobody complains when he gets on and he has his free line of propaganda crap that he can spread on how great New Bedford is, because New Bedford isn't that great.
What?
There are problems in the schools. I talk to some of my guys, their kids are getting beat up every day.
Listen, in all fairness...
How smart was he to raise the taxes in New Bedford $1 million, then they get a grant from HDC to buy $1 million fireboat?
Oh, call me back, Larry. I'm sorry. Call me back. I hit the... What happened here, Matt? I hit the button and I put him on hold and the other guy went. I apologize. That was my mistake, not yours. And I have to take this call. Call me back, Larry. Hi, call you there?
Murphy.
Billy.
Yeah.
Oh, the phones are on fire. So.
Well, let's talk about cars instead of all the crooks. I'm tired of that bullshit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We all know what it's all about, so we might as well keep cool heads and talk about cars.
All right.
Something we know about.
Larry, call me back though. I that's twice I've done it. I've talking to them. It's not intentional.
Oh, they're getting to rile you up there, Ralphie boy.
I know it. All right, Billy.
Yeah, well, I couldn't call you early because I was underneath my car putting the radiator. My son come by.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, just in time. Come on."
What radiator? Which one?
The one I had fixed. I just painted it the other day. I let it dry.
Oh, okay.
We put it into the Merc.
Yep.
And he come by.
Yep.
Oh, just in time. Come on, brother.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Here's another socket. Here's some screws. You get one side, I get the other side.
Okay.
Was easier. Then we crawled underneath and hooked up the hose, and then we hooked up, pulled that pan forward, and put those 4 bolts in the pan underneath.
So you got it together. Good.
So she's all together, and I just got to get some antifreeze and put it in.
Oh, you can put some water in it. Run it. See if it leaks. Then you can drain it out.
Well, that's why I couldn't call you. I was underneath the car.
Oh, okay. Good. I hope everything's okay with you.
Oh, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Car's ready to roll again as soon as I put some juice in it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't want them overheating.
Right.
The weather's pretty warm. They heat up real quick.
Yeah, but she runs at 160, so it's not bad. It's 160.
Yeah.
Buck 160 ain't bad, you know?
No, that's cold.
That's cold. You're right.
Yeah, that's cold by the modern cars today.
You can go a little bit further with that than you can with the new ones. Because new ones are running around 212 or something like that.
Yeah, they're running 210, 220.
Yeah. So.
Yep, that's what they're running.
Yeah. So we had a very busy week. I've had a very busy week.
Yeah, we had Billy busy. We ran a few little errands we had to do, huh, Billy?
Oh, I ain't drove my new car yet. I drove my old one more.
Yeah, you drove your old one more.
Yeah.
The one he traded in, we used it as a road car.
Oh, my God. Fall River, Fayetteville, way up north, Taunton, wherever.
Boston.
Yeah.
Inside of Boston out there. And
2 or 3 times up there, then over to Fayetteville, then, I don't know, 2 or 3 times to Fall River.
Yeah.
So we were busy.
Yep. Well, try to keep make a little money for dog food for your dogs.
Oh, well, what are you going to do, right? I enjoy it, though, you know?
Yeah.
I enjoy cars. I like to go and see different things, and I watched that auction. That was an experience I learned about.
Yeah, that was a great social
experience. I watched that auction, boy. Woo! and the crazy bidders you had in there.
Yeah, I know it, huh?
They're wild.
Well, every education costs money, Billy. I've had mine, so...
I know, but all I'm saying is, while you were up there looking for a couple of cars, I just was scanning the whole area and with them 2 cops.
Yeah.
And looking at all these strange-looking people and characters in there, boy.
Well, some real character. Yeah, the auto industry is kind of easy to get into, and it shows it. So
yeah.
Guys in the trade know what I'm talking about. But
you picked up a couple of decent cars.
Yeah.
You know?
A couple of cops there, though, paying attention, though. You know.
They were watching everybody.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people there with some money.
Oh, my God, yes,
I had one guy pay cash. He had $12,000 on
who the hell walks around with that kind of money?
I told him. I said, gee, guy. He said, I like to carry a lot of money. I said, well, yeah, okay. Until someone knocks you off the head.
Yeah. Got a nice payroll. Got a nice rip-off for that kind of money.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I mean, all the $100 bills. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I know it. I know he held the line up, so I was upset about that.
I know. You were behind me, you were waiting and waiting. I'm saying, what the? So I walked over there and I seen that girl, him passing them rolls with it over, and she was counting them. I said, "Oh my God, we're gonna be here forever."
Yeah. Well, that's the way it is. You never know, but yeah, well, it's an interesting trade, isn't it?
Well, like I said, unless you get right there and see what's going on, like I was, I watched everything.
Yeah.
I was watching the guys in the cars, and that one girl telling them, get in, get out, get in and out. Some of the guys are trying to get in the car, look, and she's pushing right through. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
That's some tough women over there.
Yeah. There's a few gals coming into the trade, more and more.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah. No, it's.
So anyway, Ralph.
Yeah.
It was a good, interesting week.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Billy. Maybe, hopefully, next week we can be as busy.
Well, that's good. If you get that busy, that's good.
Yeah. Well, let's hope after Labor Day we can still.
Well, all I know is you sold quite a few cars. That much I know.
Yeah, well, it's back to school. People, the September, late August is people are preparing for their fall lifestyles, and so let's hope we can keep some momentum going into the fall as we settle into fall and move towards winter.
Because I know Pamela was pretty busy with all that paperwork, so I knew.
Well, paperwork, Billy.
A few cars rolling out of there.
Paperwork today is a pain. We do all these things to minimize papers, and remember the computers are going to do away with paper. God, we got more paper now than we know. I buy cases of paper. It's just crazy.
I know. I seen the cases you bought the other day.
Yeah, you were with me. That's right.
Yeah, you bought all that. What the hell was this?
Yeah. So, that's 20 reams of paper, and we'll blow through that. It's just nuts. It's nuts, the amount of paper you go through.
Well, there's a lot of paper in that box.
Yeah.
So. Well, I'm going to let somebody else talk because
all right,
you talk too long. And,
good to see you.
Seeing the war, this war has been canceled for another week.
Okay. Well, this is Labor Day weekend, so we're taking a break.
I'm going to give you a break.
We're like that cartoon there with
what?
What's the cartoons there in the 50s and 60s where they had a war? Was it the chicken and the cat there? What was that? That was part of the Bugs Bunny.
Yep.
And they'd punch out at the end of the day. They'd fight like cats and dogs, and then
punch out.
And that they punch out and say, "See you next day. See you tomorrow." Okay.
Okay, now punch out. I'll see you next week.
All right.
Yeah. Bye.
See you later, Billy. Okay. You can give us a call here if you so desire. You can call us here at 9960500, 9960500. We got a little bit of time left to talk about whatever's on your mind. And Larry, if you're out there, I do owe you a little bit of time there. I apologize. Give me a call if you're listening, because I know you work your heart out there in your job, and today you have to. You're always running. There's always bills and taxes, insurance to pay. It just doesn't stop. It keeps coming at you. And unfortunately, the pie is getting smaller for many of us. I mean, it's not to say that some people are doing well. For sure they are. But I don't think what prosperity this country is generating now has been spread certainly evenly or reasonably evenly or somewhat evenly equitable throughout these United States. Many of our cities are hurting. And, New Bedford reflects that. But in honesty, I see some improvements in the city, and I see some negatives for sure. But I see the city core. I see there's energy there. The people are honestly trying to make some positive changes, and I have to applaud that. Very good afternoon to you, caller. Hello, are you there?
Yes, Chaplain Ralph. Ralph,
hey,
how you doing, buddy?
Hey, boy, how are you doing? Your car running okay?
Very nice. Have
Good.
You looked at the demographics are like with your new radio station? I heard the earlier one in Fall River. I lived there for 8 years, so just simply wondering, how about the other car centers? Ever thought of, say, can I consign you to, and you say, I will warranty the way I do it? Just wondering, have you increased sales because of your new exposure with your new radio hour?
To be frank with you, it's too early to tell.
Too early to tell.
Too early to tell. It is a different audience. It's a different audience, and I'm kind of like
demographics and economics. Look how they told Tesla, get your back orders out and reduce costs. Yeah, let's keep it the car show. Even Billy noticed. He said, "Look, I wasn't. I felt. He was saying, look, I wasn't suicidal. Okay, now I am. Let's stick to cars, buddy. Okay." Yeah. And that guy you have on makes me crazy. I'm voting for Trump, but what it's worth, I'm from Brooklyn. You got to understand the New York attitude. Have a good day.
Yeah,
okay?
Ralphie, stay safe.
You. Keep in touch.
Good to hear your voice. Good to hear your voice. Ralph from Wareham. Give us a call here, 9960500. We can talk about whatever's on your mind. There was a speech here that, and I just, I try to keep an open mind and look at things in a balanced way. I guess, am I conservative? I'm socially liberal. Okay, what you do in your life's your business. I really don't care. Just don't ask me to pay for it. I just basically where I hail from. Comes to financial side, I get more conservative because I see how tough it is to meet your obligations, to pay all these taxes all the time, and it's really tough to keep up with it. And so I get a bit conservative, especially when I see so much money being wasted and spent in ways that I certainly don't agree with. And we need changes, not to mention we're in the hole for nearly $20 trillion under this administration. It's doubled from Bush, and Bush, believe me, I had no love for him at all. I think he is certainly not one of my favorite presidents by any stretch. Well, one war for sure was totally useless. The other one was questionable as to the outcome and the results, and it's still in play in Afghanistan. And now we've got more heroin in our streets now than ever. And we spent $2 trillion there, not to mention what we've lost, I think, over 4,000 of our men and women there, not to mention those who have been hurt. And we haven't really solved any of the problems. It's when you look at our policies, you have to say we're not getting results for our money. It's nuts. It really is. But back to this Hillary speech at the Veterans the American Legion Convention in Cincinnati, Ohio, and she gave a speech there. And I'm going to play a few, just less than a minute's worth. And I was really surprised that the mainstream media didn't pick this up. And she advocates about using military power with internet attacks. Now, she talks about the Russians and the Chinese. Well, in fact, it's easy to talk that way, but we're also one of the main hackers out there, and we hack into other people's systems, the Chinese, the Russians, everybody's. Okay? It was us and the Israelis that came up with Stuxnet, if I'm saying it. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it properly. That was a worm, a program, malware, if you will, that attacked the Iranians' nuclear facilities and messed up all their computers that were running their uranium reprocessing. And they don't know how they got it in there. It was actually a unique attack, if you will, if you read into it, the way they got that software into their computer systems, which are pretty highly protected. Anyway, it did cost them. It put them back over a year in time. So, well, we got a caller. Let's take the caller. Very good afternoon to you, caller. Hi, are you there? Hello.
Hello, is that you, Ralph?
Yes, it's me.
Oh, I didn't hear the beep.
Yep.
Hey, I was going to tell you, why do you bother arguing with that guy who's the ex-teacher there?
Oh.
Teachers are never wrong, and I learned that my own experience years ago.
Maybe that's why I argue with him.
Years ago, I used to do appliance repair, and without a doubt, we'd go into the home of a teacher, and as you're walking through the door, they wouldn't ask you what you thought was wrong with it. They would tell you what was wrong with it. And as a technician, I was never foolish enough to diagnose a problem without ever having looked at it. Yet they'd say, well, did you bring the thermostat? It's a thermostat. And I say, well, how do you know that? Well, I know that. And without a doubt, they were the worst people to ever deal with. I love teachers. I had a lot of great teachers, but when dealing with them, they were the absolute worst. They would not let you put two words in. They would tell you what was wrong with it, and they knew everything. And I said, well, how long have you been doing appliance repair for? And they just look at me, well, I know what it is. So when I hear that guy, and you can't get a word in edgewise, you can't tell him anything.
Yeah, well,
it's unbelievable.
People have their hard views. But he can hold a conversation, but hey, life goes on, my friend.
Well, I didn't really call to say that, but it got me a little fired up when
what's on your
I
mind?
have to listen to him every week, and I suppose I don't have to listen to this channel, this station, but
what's on your mind?
A lot of things. I'm trying to find the article here. There was an article in my favorite, The Economist, on a 48 volt car, and what it says here it is. It says that in the 60s they in the 50s rather, they went from a 6-volt car to a 12-volt car.
Correct.
Because they needed increased voltage to do more things.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, like, I mean, you probably already know this, but I don't know this. I'm saying this to the people that are out there to tell them that they say, like, the new cars, the new vehicle can have as many as 150 electric motors. Mm-hmm. So what they're thinking of coming out with is, and they're coming out not for hybrids, but for normal cars to be 48 volts. And it says the first production car to use 48 volts is an Audi SUV, the SQ7, and it employs an electrically driven 48-volt turbine to force extra air into the engine when a spurt of power is needed. Well, we know, like a turbo, they talk about turbo lag because it doesn't.
It doesn't have to spool up, right? I know what you mean. Yeah,
but this is kind of like a supercharger.
Yep. It's electric motor.
Air, an electric supercharger that would force air into the engine to make it go faster, and also works on the active suspension. And right now they're looking into this in Britain at the Ford place, and they have also have a Ford Focus that they're doing this with also. And it says one of the test vehicle's important features is this water-cooled starter. See, because a lot of cars are going to use the stop technology like they do in the hybrids, and that could overheat the
starters.
Start, so they're going to have a water-cooled starter. I thought that was pretty wild.
They have to make them much heavier. Yeah, but that's what they're implementing now to get mileage up. It's like a go-kart. It's like almost a golf cart.
They're still going to keep the 12 volts for stuff like lighting a stereo until they get it really integrated. But they said that the Audi's 48 volts will come from a lithium-ion battery.
Yeah, imagine. That's going to be big bucks.
Yeah, so now you'll have two batteries. I mean, I know a car's battery these days. It used to be, you buy them for like $40, and now I haven't seen even a cheap one.
They've gone up
for
crazy.
Less than like $100.
Yeah,
bucks. They're more like 200. So
batteries have gone nuts. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So they're talking about
you're going to talk.
They're going to use a lead carbon battery. Who knows what that'll cost?
It'll be like a glass mat. Yeah.
Because it charges and discharges faster than a standard lead acid battery.
Right.
And the 48 volts will come from a lithium ion. Can't wait to see how much that one costs. And
a couple grand.
The Focus also uses torque assist, kind of like that. What the Audi uses there with like a supercharger. And
you're gonna stop reading. You're getting too smart.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. Too smart for myself.
Yeah, you're getting. Well, no, education's a good thing, and but they also want to consolidate the starter alternator. In other words, they want to use your flywheel, and it would initially start your car. Once it starts your car, it converts over to being an alternator. So there'll be a combination, and generally we're talking in the 24 volt. I guess 48 volt would be. I mean, if you're at 24 to go 48, and then you can use lighter wire and all that with the higher voltages, and you don't get the amperage loss. But so there's all I know is that I don't know where they're going to get the technicians to fix these cars. Because they get in now. Let's say you got a lithium-ion battery, you have to charge it. That's another charger. Probably cost a shop $2,000, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 for a starter made. I mean, a starter, a charger.
And you look if they go to a 48 volt car stereos. Where are you going to bring that? You have to bring that to the dealer, or else when you go to Richie's Auto Stereo, he'll have to hook 4 batteries up together to get the 48 volts.
It changes.
I mean,
right? It does. It's
I know the days are now. We used to use a 12 volt light to prod around and look for shorts and stuff like that. But you can't even use a 12 volt light anymore now because you're afraid. I guess you could blow out the computer with that. So you have to use a voltmeter. But now what's your voltmeter set on? The low range or the high range? Because am I looking for 12 volts or am I looking for 48 volts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
No, it's moving fast, and in the name of getting better mileage, more efficiencies. I mean, they have electric power steering.
Well, boy, you're going to pay for it.
Electric power steering is common in cars. Electric water pumps in cars now. BMW has them. I mean, other companies as well. I mean, everything's going electric. Less accessories on the engine. Less they have to plumb and pipe up. So it saves a ton of money. Yeah. Well, I got to move on. I got another caller here. I got to line up. Thanks. Yep. Thank you for the call. Bye bye. Caller, thank you for holding.
Oh, no problem, Ralph.
Yeah.
I'm the fellow that called you earlier.
Oh, okay.
With car trouble.
Yeah.
My car is at your place.
Good man. Okay. All right.
I think we figured it out, though.
Go ahead.
The guy in the tow truck, that the positive battery cable is a disaster.
Okay. So it's all greened up on you?
Yeah. It actually is, the end of it has got a piece gone.
Okay. Well, we might have to go in there and just put a new end on it, yeah.
Yeah, at least that. And he seems to think the battery is cooked.
That's what I was worried about, the way you described it to me. That's why I kept telling you about your headlights.
So, I got a feeling that might be the original battery.
Yeah, that could be.
So I'm going to say, go ahead and put a new one in.
Yeah, we'll check it out. If it doesn't have any life, then we're going into the fall and winter. You don't want to be dealing with problems.
Yeah.
But if the battery's good, it's good. I mean, we're gonna let it live its life. But if it's on the way out and it's weak, then fine, we get rid of it.
Okay. Are you coming here after the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'll see you.
All right, sir. Thank you.
See you then.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for the call. We're going to play this little speech here, but it's interesting. It's like a minute. Matt, you got it queued. Here we go.
We have to make sure that America's arsenal is prepared to meet future threats. We'll invest in the next frontier of military engagement. U.S. interests in outer space and cyberspace. You've seen reports. Russia's hacked into a lot of things. China's hacked into a lot of things. Russia even hacked into the Democratic National Committee. Maybe even some state election systems. So we've got to step up our game. Make sure we are well defended and able to take the fight to those who go after us. As president, I will make it clear that the United States will treat cyber attacks just like any other attack. We will be ready with serious political, economic, and military responses. And we're going.
There you go. Now, if Trump came out with that statement, it'd be all over the world. And this media here, about how he's for another war over internet. I mean, it's just a double standard here that's so blatantly apparent. And there are other comments, like the Russians were the ones who hacked into the DNC. That has not been proven yet. That's a red herring. I don't know how she can get off saying that. There's been no concrete proof whatsoever. Matter of fact, you have to go into and look up Julian Assange. Listen to his speeches, his talks. He's been interviewed by media all around the world. Not so much by the American media because it's pretty much the fix is in. But the European media has given him some airtime. Very little on American media about Julian Assange and how he brings up and he doesn't say for sure that Seth Rich was the one who passed on the emails of the DNC to WikiLeaks. That's Julian Assange's organization that disseminates, they believe in transparency, and they've really pissed off many governments throughout the world with their disclosures of whatever emails they've hacked into, and people disclose this. And Julian Assange has not come out and said it in the first person, so to say, but he's concerned about Seth Rich and how that he doesn't think it was accidental, that he was robbed, that in fact he was murdered because of those emails, and he was in charge of IT over there, one of the people, not exclusively. But so there's a lot of controversy of this, which is being hushed up, not being discussed in the mainstream media, and you have to drill down. And these are facts, folks. So when she comes out and says that, there has been no proof whatsoever that the Russians are conclusively guilty of the hacking in and disseminating those emails to Julian Assange. And Assange has come out pretty much and said, no, that's not the case. And he's concerned about the events that have taken place. And you have to listen to Julian Assange, Assange, Julian Assange, and listen to the man and listen to his current speeches and to draw your own conclusions if you have an open mind and you're not blinded by either side. So I find that very interesting. Of course, she's talking to older guys, veterans, you know, although I didn't seem like a very enthusiastic audience to her speech overall, in my opinion. Now, you can listen to it for yourself. It's about, I don't know, 41 minutes long. It's not a very long speech, and draw your own conclusions. But for her to come out and say that categorically it was the Russians, that's a red herring, totally. Very, very much misinformation. It's unfortunate, but that's the realities. And no one's really addressed the issue. It's being hushed up about Seth Rich and the investigation. And Julian Assange has touched on it. And he says he never discloses who the people are that turn information over to his organization, because he's trying to protect them as well. But he seems to be very hesitant, Julian Assange, to say that it's the Russians. And I would think this fellow would know. And he's being held captive now in the Bolivian embassy in London. On pretty much it's been trumped up charges of rape and supposedly assault in Sweden, which has been dropped to my mind. You'd have to read into the guy. I haven't listened to him this week, but his speeches are very interesting to listen to him. Very, very sharp guy. And draw your own conclusions. That's all I can tell you. But if you're just listening or reading the local paper or the Boston paper or watching Fox or CNN, forget about it. And you have to go into what's now called the alt media, and they're trying to shut it down because both sides, because the Republicans and Democrats at the top, it doesn't make a difference. Both sides are losing the narrative. Okay? You know, they're losing the narrative. So the Minister of Public Engagement and Propaganda, okay? So they're losing this message. If you get into this, if you study, to me it's just like a hobby. It's fun to look at this, and you know, but they're trying to stay in power. There's a lot of money on this table here, a lot of lobbyists, a lot of business interests, banking interests, phenomenal interests, money that lubricates many of these elected officials at the highest levels, and there's a lot of concern. There's going to be a lot of changes if, in fact, Trump gets elected. If not, well, then continue to enjoy the decline that we've been experiencing, because I just see this country drifting. Okay, I haven't really seen the sunshine come through. Okay, down into smaller communities. Most of America is hurting. It's been eviscerated of its economic might. Sure, we still make a lot of guns and weapons and bombs. We seem to be real good at that. But as far as prosperity for most of our younger people coming up, we got people with degrees. They're lucky to get $10, $12 an hour because there's no jobs. A lot of them have been indoctrinated instead of educated with some of this dogma you hear. And I talk to some people. It's crazy. I'm talking to a young lady, and I told her, I said, well, I was in Moscow several months ago. She says, oh, how did you like Germany? I said, excuse me, I wasn't in Germany. I was in Russia. I mean, and she was like 28, 29. I don't have college educated. Don't have a clue. Folks, thank you for listening, putting up with me. Catch me at Ralph's Auto Center, New Bedford. Thank you for listening. Catch us on the internet at ralphscars.com. Also, you can listen to these on YouTube. Ralph's All About Cars on YouTube.